Detroit, the time is now.
That we're on the topic of Green Bay, we're gonna, let's do not a full pregame show right here, right now, but we are gonna slowly start getting ready because we only have a couple days off before we play on Thursday night. Mm-hmm. We had a lot of guys sitting in this past yesterday's game: Taylor Decker, Kirby Joseph, David Montgomery. I think that the Lions are handling that very well. Those guys are going to be ready to go. 10 days off, going into Green Bay, and then getting another 10 days off. I think we're already favored in the game. I saw on all the betting apps, but I think that the way that we handle these injuries, they looked at Atlanta and said, hey, we can win without those guys. Let's put the backups in, get those guys healed up. I think we're going to see a heavy, heavy dose of David Montgomery Thursday night.
I hope so, man. I hope he's out there because I'm not for sure that he'll be out there.
I think a little bruise. I mean, come on, man.
Well, I think we're just trying to make sure that we have him for the season, man. The worst thing that we could do is irritate that thing. I was a little surprised that Bam Knight didn't get more carries. I thought he looked good.
Yeah, he only carried the ball 3 times, and he did look good when he carried it. But I think his long was 8. But if you give that guy the ball 10 times, he'll get you 40 yards.
Yeah, I liked how he looked better than Craig Reynolds. No, and Craig Reynolds ran okay too. But I just feel like Bam Knight is the reason why we got him back there returning kicks as well. He's a guy that could potentially break off a long run. Kind of like similar to David Montgomery to me. He breaks tackles on the inside, not as powerful as Montgomery, but he's a nice offset to Gibbs when we got Gibbs out there.
Yeah, Thursday night, both teams 2-1. Green Bay's 2-1. Lions 2-1. They might have a little revenge on their mind. We knocked them out of the playoffs last year at the end of the season. I'm not going to call it a trap game. I think the Lions are awake now. Hopefully, don't make me eat my words. I think we're awake. We're going to be rolling. The only person on the Packers that scares me isn't a guy who even touches the ball. It's Jair Alexander.
Yeah. He doesn't scare me, man, because I think that we have so many weapons that if he takes away one, the other ones will be running free.
Yeah, we have plenty. And this is definitely a game I think like Jameson Williams would really help, but not saying we need him. We do have plenty of weapons. Amon-Ra, a little banged up. That's probably who he's going to be shadowing. You want to shadow him? All right, we got Josh Reynolds. Okay, we got Sam Laporta. Okay, we got Jahmyr Gibbs. Like you said, we got weapons. But Jair Alexander is really the only guy for the Packers. Like Jordan Love, haven't seen much yet. Rashawn Gary's kind of growing into that elite pass rusher. He's kind of starting to wreck some games. But I think our O-line will be able to handle him pretty well as well.
Yeah. I think, man, honestly, when I think about these Green Bay Packers, Kirby Joseph planted a flag in Green Bay last year. And that was against a true Hall of Famer. What is he going to do to Dude Love?
If you look at it, and this is just on paper, our team last year beat Green Bay twice handily. Did our team get better? Yes. I don't think Green Bay got better from last year. I don't think they added anything that really scares me. They didn't draft anything that really scares me. I'm not throwing shade or talking shit. I'm just being honest. Like, what on Green Bay's offense scares you?
Nothing. They got a couple of tight ends. They got Jalen Reed. Aaron Jones is banged up right now. Love is taking over for a Hall of Famer. Well, he's played well. I'm picking on him, poking fun a little bit, but he's had some success and he's played well throughout the beginning of the season. But the Detroit Lions are different, man, and I don't even mean defensively because we played one good game defensively. So I'm not gonna sit here and pretend like we have a top 10 defense, just based off of us playing well against Desmond Ridder, who couldn't. He looked like Ray Charles back there trying to play quarterback and pass the ball down the field. So I'm not about to say that we got a freaking amazing defense. But what I will say is if I got to pick a guy to win this shootout between Love and Goff, I'm going with Goff. So even if they have some success offensively, if we get into a shootout, I think Jared Goff wins that shootout. So I just feel like, man, we should win this game and we should take over the division.
Going into Thursday night, both teams 2-1, first place on the line.
Yeah.
If the Lions can get to 3-1 through 4 games, You got to get through Carolina and I think Baltimore. No, J-Mo returns for Baltimore, but you could be sitting at 3-1 with J-Mo knocking on the doorsteps of coming back and really having your full offense. The Lions haven't been in a position where they're looking at 3-1 in quite a while.
Yeah.
We could really put a stranglehold on this division, having one game up on Green Bay with the Bears at 0-3, the Vikings at 0-3. We've talked all offseason that what's the standard for this team? It's making the playoffs and having a home playoff game, not going on the road to Seattle or Dallas. Ford Field, Friday, Saturday night, someone's coming to town for the first time. We could that quest starts Thursday.
Steve.
William.
You know what my granddad told me, man?
Last time you told me something your granddad said, it blew my mind about 4 flats and a Cadillac. Is it something like that?
Hey, he delivers nothing but bangers, man. Nothing but bangers. But he told me this, man. He said, you can't dance with the pretty girl if you don't go to the dance, right? Right. So if we get into the playoffs, right, you can't win the Super Bowl if you don't go to the playoffs. Right. So this is where it starts, man. Winning that division and getting to the dance, right? And then we'll see if we can dance with the pretty girl. But let's go ahead and set the tone. Did you see what Cam Sutton said after the game?
No, I didn't. But we are going to talk about Cam Sutton. What did he say?
After the game, Dan Campbell did his Dan Campbell thing, talking after the game, which was awesome. Got the guys all pumped up, but hammered in, stay focused at the end. Then Cam Sutton came in after him. He said, great win, great job. But Thursday, we get into this division.
Yep. Right. I actually did see that. I remember I was scrolling through TikTok last night and it popped up.
Yeah, we get into this division, and Thursday we need to set the tone and let them know where we're at with this division. Who's the top dog in this division, man? And that's kind of where I'm at. Cam Sutton doesn't say too much, but those were words that were powerful to me. Let's set the tone on Thursday, and that's what we need to do.
When the NFL schedule came out back in May, we looked at the first 2 weeks and said, those aren't gimmies. You're playing the Super Bowl champs. You're playing the Seattle Seahawks, who are a playoff team year in, year out. Pete Carroll, the Seahawks own us. Should have won that game, but we didn't. We're 1-1. We're sitting in a good spot. Yesterday, we get to 2-1. The schedule from here for the next 4 weeks is very, very winnable. Not to get too far ahead of ourselves. One game at a time. This is our first division game. Like Cam Sutton said, this is the time. And I 100% agree. Like this is where the season starts, is Thursday night. Because after this, you kind of get like a little mini bye week. You can get those bumps and bruises really taken care of. You get 10 days off before Carolina comes to town with a rookie quarterback, if he even plays. Yep. These next 10 days are going to be what starts to set the Lions on that upward trajectory. I really think it.
I agree, man. I'll ask you this, and I know we'll get into a little bit of this when we do our pregame show. So it's just giving you guys a little bit of a sneak peek. But what do you think the most important thing is for Thursday night?
Healthy. No injuries. No injuries.
Respect it.
Can't have any injuries. You're on national TV. You kind of got, we got a little taste of that national spotlight on opening night when we just went to Kansas City and planted our flag there. Yeah. Little hiccup against Seattle. Game we should have won. Move on. Dominated Atlanta. That's what we should have done. What we should do on Thursday night is the same thing. Run the ball, take those passes when they're open, go into Green Bay and win. We did it last year. It's not out of the question. The season really starts for me Thursday night.
Yeah, I can't argue that, man. If we come out on Thursday and we dominate, we're looking at what? Minnesota Vikings 0-3. Green Bay Packers 2-1.
2-2 if after Thursday.
Yeah. And then we got the Chicago Bears 0-3. So I mean, it's our opportunity to take over this division and plant our flag and then run away with it. Because like we talked about earlier in this podcast, we still got J-Mo coming back, which is going to change us offensively. So I mean, we're only getting better as the season goes on.
Yeah, I mean, like this is just where like the preseason would have ended after 3 weeks. So we're just getting firing. We're just getting clicking. The offense didn't play in the preseason. These first 3 games have been kind of like a feeler, like just what do we really have here? And I think now 3 games in, Thursday night, we're going to find out exactly what this team is. Even if I don't even want to put it into the air. But even if we lose, we're still sitting pretty. Like we're still good. I'm not going to be worried. I'm not going to be panicked. But going to Green Bay, come out 3-1. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, I will. I won't like it if we lose this game, man. Because
No, I won't like it either because it's a game on paper. Like you've said 1,000 times, when you take roster for roster, you do that with Green Bay. Like they have some nice pieces. I'm not going to say they don't. They got some guys on defense. They got some guys on offense. But matched up man to man with the Lions, I don't think it's a match.
I don't either, man. This is a game that we should dominate.